Was Brendan Dassey Stephen Avery's alibi for October 31st, 2005? I've heard a lot of people say that one of the reasons that the police went after Brendan was because Brendan was Stephen's alibi for that night. Well, I guess that some of those people should have told Stephen that, because Stephen never mentions Brendan being over that night or any other night. He never mentions Brendan at all. So, as I say once again, if nothing happened and everything was fine, no crime was committed, no murder or anything, why didn't Stephen say that Brendan was over there? That would have been his alibi. Because Stephen knew that once they found that vehicle on that property, that they weren't just going to leave and say, well, we found the vehicle, she's not in it, so let's go look somewhere else. And the whole time, every time they asked him if he had burned anything that night, his answer was no. You can even tell, like when they start to bring up, the fire or anything like that, his voice changes too. You can hear like just the nervousness in his voice. But he was never going to be used as an alibi from Stephen, because Stephen didn't want attention drawn to the bonfire that night for some reason. It just doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people say, well, that's why they went after Brendan, because Brendan was his alibi. No, he wasn't. If he was, Stephen would have said yes. Brendan was over by that night. We had a bonfire. Nothing else happened. But something did happen. Brendan knew that, because Brendan was there with Stephen when it happened. And I think even in the interviews, the interrogations of Brendan, I think it was the May 13th. It was after Brendan had already been arrested, because he was in his prison uniform. He mentions telling something to his buddy Travis about seeing the body in the fire. So Brendan definitely knows something. He knows part of what happened. I don't know how much. I don't know how much he was involved. As I said before. But Stephen was not going to use Brendan as an alibi. If he was going to, he would have mentioned it in those police interviews. He never mentions Brendan whatsoever. And to me, that's not what an innocent person would do. That would have been the first thing I'd have said. Was Brendan's my alibi. He was with me that night. But now he don't. He never mentions it. So, as for Brendan being Stephen's alibi, the reason they went after Brendan was because he was Stephen's alibi. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I just thought I would point that out. And if anybody has any comments or whatever, just let me know. If you want to argue it, fine. I'll read them and stuff, but that's all I have for now. So I'll talk to you later.